Looking for an easier way to get more sustainable energy and rest from the energy you have right now? Whether you feel like you have some energy or zero energy, I can help. In this short training, you will learn how to identify stress in your body and how that body area correlates to a specific set of unmet needs and the form of rest you need to harmonize your body and mind for better focus, more calm, and to boost your energy whenever you need it. If you're new, welcome. Hi, I'm Carol Jean Whittington. I'm a late identified autistic ADHD business professional who always wondered why life felt so exhausting and overwhelming until I learned I'm ADHD almost 10 years ago. Since then, I've been on a mission to unmask, energize, and live my best thriving life as the empowered leader I knew I was meant to be. I'm in year 4 of living burnout, shutdown, and meltdown free for the first time in almost 40 years. And my passion and purpose is to help you step into yours too. I didn't even know that this place of calm, sustainable energy, joy, and contentment was even possible until I got here. And today I want to help you begin your autistic burnout restoration journey. Energy flows through the body along defined pathways, similar to how blood flows through our veins. Where several energy pathways cross, a concentration of energy occurs. These zones are called energy centers. Each of the 7 major energy centers is responsible for regulating energy flow to a specific part of the body, and I've discovered they are also directly correlated to the type of rest that we need and the need that best supports our energy and regulation, including sensory. The charged energies, either positive, negative, or neutral, are generated by our thoughts, emotions, interactions with others, and the environment. And they pass along these energy centers and correlate to a specific set of human needs, and both overall rest and sensory rest needs. So, today I'm going to go through these energy centers with you and share with you the type of rest that correlates with that area, as well as the needs, a few of the needs. And the reason I want to point this out, and this has been such a powerful realization, and this is a tool that I use for myself, and this is what has helped me stay out of burnout, shutdown, and meltdown for the last 4 years. This is also what I teach in the unveiling method, and I want to teach this powerful tool to you today. Here we go. When we are experiencing sensory overwhelm or high levels of distress, that's the negative form of stress. Our body responds whether we pay attention in the moment or if it shows up later due to delayed processing. The energy body appraisal is a useful tool to help identify the need and calibrate now, and also to help support the way you process. I have alexithymia, so this energy body appraisal is exactly what I created to help me better identify and process my physical experiences and feelings more easily. This is what has helped me and all the unveilers in our program step into restoration and break the chronic cycle burnout. One of our recent Energize and Restore Experience Day members said this: I used to think rest meant sleeping or laying on the couch, but you taught me rest really is refreshment. You've changed my life. I now believe it is possible to build a tolerable and enjoyable life without crashing after every experience. This came from Marilise. Thanks so much for sharing with us, Marilise. I'm going to walk you through the exact specific steps right now. So if you take a look at the image here, I'm going to show it up on the screen. It shows a body layout, and this is the human body, and each one of these dots represents an energy center. So I'll start from the top and we'll work our way down as we go through each of these energy centers, what that particular area of rest is and what that need is. And I'll tie this together because this will really make a big difference for you in your daily life. So as we start, let's look at the crown energy center. So, in the crown energy center, this is where spiritual rest shows up. So, if you notice, you may have tightness or a headache, like in the top of your head, or you feel pressure, you feel heavy, like a weight is on top of you. Sometimes this can represent and let you know because our body is so very smart and it will pick up and recognize things that we need when we may not be able to know what we need in our mind. Our body will tell us. So, in your crown energy center, that's the top of your head. That's also your pineal gland. Interesting fact, many of us who are autistic and ADHD can have cysts on our pineal gland. I've had two. The propensity and the percentage of people who are autistic and ADHD who get cysts on their pineal gland is actually more than the general population. So, fun fact there. So, when we have a spiritual rest need, there's some human needs that correspond to that. And it's really important that we talk about these because when we have tension or pressure or a disruption in an area of our body, it's telling this is the kind of rest that you need. So, spiritual rest is where we have it's not about religious rest, it's about your personal sanctuary. Think about that for a minute. A spiritual rest is your personal sanctuary. So that means there's a need that's going unmet if you're feeling some of those symptoms of dis-ease in that area. And it's a human need for purpose, for gratitude, for presence, and self connection. So when you bring those human needs into your life and you're getting rest in that spiritual rest area of your personal sanctuary, those physical things remove. And what happens is energy flows in. Whereas when that need is unmet, the energy is flowing out. Hope this is starting to make some sense. So let's move on to the next one quickly because I don't want to keep you here long. I want to go through these as quickly as possible. So the next one is brow energy. So here in brow energy, this is right here across the center of your forehead, right above your brows. So if you have your brows here and you're going to put two fingers right in that area. So a lot of times we'll hear people say they have a lot of tension here, a lot of pressure, headache right there. Sometimes those are the things that you'll experience. This is where you have a need for appreciative rest and mental rest. Appreciative rest is taking in and appreciating the beauty around you. This can be looking at something beautiful, something as small as, a tiny bug. It can be creating beauty. Mental rest is finding stillness and quiet in your brain. And if you're an ADHDer, that's definitely something that we have to really explore what that feels like for us because stillness and quiet isn't necessarily our natural place of being, especially when we're in burnout. So let's look at some of the needs for this area. So if we have a need for appreciative and mental rest in this area, the human need that correlates to that, that helps bring energy in and helps regulate that is play, creativity, challenge, growth. Those are some of the needs. There's plenty more here, but those are just like the highlights I want to give you. Are you starting to connect some of these things? I hope so. A lot of times when there's an imbalance in this area, it can be a lot of negative thinking. It can be that you feel like you have a mental fog. A lot of times it can feel like a lack of motivation, headaches, migraines, sinusitis, even certain types of eye challenges or conditions kind of show up when there's an imbalance in this area. And when you look at those human needs, those are the things that are going to bring in what you need to meet that rest need as well. So pay attention to those. I hope this is really helping. This has made such a huge difference in my life and in so many of my clients who are just really loving this. So the next one is throat energy. And oh my goodness, this one really stood out for me. So your throat energy is right here, the middle of your throat, kind of like the hollow above your collarbone. So you got like that dip right here in your collarbone. So right here, sort of this hollow area. So authentic connection and emotional rest is the rest need for this area. Authentic connection is finding authentic, genuine, trustful, honest connection with another person. Emotional rest is the freedom to authentically express feelings, not just to someone else, but also to acknowledge them within ourselves. In my global spicy research over the last 3 years, we've had participants in over 94 countries and over 500,000 people, autistic ADHD professionals and adults. And within that, the number one unmet need is emotional safety, but not external emotional safety, internal emotional safety, where we feel safe to experience our own feelings and thoughts. Is that something that may be resonating with you right now? So, if we look at signs of an imbalance in this area, it can be sort of poor communication, the inability to express oneself verbally, if you're a verbal processor, anxiety or nervousness, feeling very inhibited, like you never fully get to express yourself. This can be having difficulty concentrating or an inability to fully relax. It feels like you always need to be doing something, always have sort of like that shark analogy, it's not safe to stop. I'm just going to keep moving. So some of the needs in this area that correlate to help restore that area is feeling like you're competent in something, feeling like you have agency, like it's your decision and control, authenticity, feeling like you're showing up and being able to express the self that's in you, your unique self, and emotional safety, how you feel your emotions internally and how you share and express them with other people. So let's keep moving down. We're in the heart energy center. And in the heart energy center, this is sort of the center of your chest. And this is interesting. This is the place that connects all of the lower energy centers below the heart to the higher energy centers above it. So this is sort of the junction, it's your heart. Isn't that wonderful? So the rest need for this area in the heart is emotional, appreciative, and authentic connection rest. Those make a lot of sense, right? So, emotional rest is the freedom to authentically express feelings to yourself and others. Appreciative rest is taking in and appreciating the beauty around you. Authentic connection is finding authentic connection with another, being able to sit down with someone that you truly feel sees, hears, and understands you, and you see, hear, and understand them. One of the top three unmet needs in my global research is belonging, the need to belong. And I think this is really important because that's really in our heart. So when we're talking about those types of rest needs, here's some of the human needs: belonging, community, kindness, openness. And I think those are such beautiful things. And when we can have those needs met in a way that works for us, because, it isn't about how everyone defines openness or community or belonging, but it's how you define it, how it shows up and what it means for you in your life. That's the difference. We can't look at a need and go, okay, it looks like this. We have to define that need for ourselves. And I love this because when we can start bringing those things in a way that really connects, that is when energy really flows in and restoration. And the reason I teach the 7 forms of rest other than sleep is because in autistic and ADHD burnout, sleep is something that gets disrupted. And it's also something just from a natural standpoint of who we are as our neurotype, it's also our physiology. So that's a little different. So sleep is always a little bit challenging sometimes for many of us. So when we can find other places to bring energy in, that's power, my friend. So let's keep going. We're almost through these. So let's look at the next one. And this is our solar plexus energy. This is just below the breastbone, kind of like your gut instinct. If we say, oh, we're going to talk about, sort of my gut check, this would be your solar plexus. This is your gut check kind of area. So if we look at this, the rest needs in this area are authentic connection and emotional rest. And if you're starting to see kind of a pattern in this section of your body, it's interesting. So if you're feeling a deficit in or a depletion in emotional rest, it may show up in more than one place. And so it's good to know this. So let's talk about how does this show up in the need side of things. So the human need for this would be autonomy. Like, I'm on my own. I have agency to make my decisions by myself. I have privacy. Nobody's disrupting me. I have some quiet alone time maybe. That might be what you might need more of. Recognition. I need somebody to recognize that I put in a lot of hard work. I feel like I did twice or 3 times the amount of everybody else to get the same thing done, and I would really like some recognition externally. Sometimes we just also need to recognize ourselves. One of the other human needs in this area is trust. And this is something that so many of us, especially in late identified life, trust is something we haven't had a long time. And it's not so much the trust of other people, which is definitely its own conversation, but it's the trust within ourselves. Do I trust my own thoughts, my own decisions, and my own feelings? Because maybe throughout your life, maybe kind of similar to mine, I was told I was wrong. I couldn't possibly feel that way, or it couldn't hurt that bad, or it's not that loud. And then you start to not trust your own experience. So, if this is something that you might be experiencing in the solar plexus area, and some of those signs of imbalance are feeling drained and unfocused, sometimes even feeling kind of helpless. Um, a lot of times it can be, you can almost find yourself being excessively controlling around your environment and people. Poor concentration and memory shows up as part of an imbalance in this area. um, Sleep problems. This is kind of one of the things it disrupts it even more. So if you're experiencing some of those things, this may be the area for you. Kind of just close your eyes and tap into that area of your body. What are you feeling and experiencing? Your body's going to give you a lot of insight into what you need. So the next area is the sacral energy, and this is below your navel, sort of, your belly button. So your navel, it's right below that area. It sits above your pelvis, but below your navel. And this is called the sacral energy area. And here are some of the rest needs: authentic connection, emotional rest, and appreciative rest. And if we look at the human needs in this, it's creativity, right? Oh my goodness. That's a big one. It's attraction, it's sexual connection to yourself, to someone else. It's physical safety. It's also play and fun. How can you bring some of those things into your life today to recharge this area? Some of the signs of a depletion in this area and how you might be feeling it is you can have a lot of really dysregulated emotions. You can have heightened emotions and you might even feel really numb. You can feel isolated and alone. You can feel really disconnected. Um, Low self confidence, a lot of lethargy, and, low stamina. um, Lower back pain. And this can also be, if you are a female, then this could be, or female assigned at birth. You could have a lot of gynecological issues there as well. You can have some intestinal upset, a lot of GI things, and even some urinary issues. Those kind of all come with an imbalance in this area. And how you start to balance is bringing in those needs in a way that works best for you. Now, remember, this isn't about doing it like everybody else, because that's usually what got us in burnout in the first place. This is about discovering and doing it in a way that works for you. That's really important. So here's our last one. Our last energy center is the root energy center. And this is located at the base of your spine. You know that little thing at the end of your spine, that coccyx? I broke mine. I fell on a gymnasium floor during a volleyball game and cracked mine. So if you have ever done that, or you've had to sit on a very tender tailbone, this is where your root energy is located. So some of the rest needs that are associated with this area are kinetic. That is when you create energy by moving your body. And this is what's really interesting. In our Energize and Restore Experience Day, I took so many of our members through this process in the unveiling method. And we went through all 7 types of rest throughout the day. And when we did kinetic rest, and we did a couple different forms of kinetic rest, one was dance, and another was breath work. And it was so fun because what I kept hearing back and the things that people kept telling me as they were trying this throughout the day, and then as they did it through the follow-up, they were like, I can't believe how much more energy I get. Like, I expend very little energy. In return, I'm getting so much more energy. And I always thought like exercise and moving my body was going to cost me more energy than I had. And I never thought about how it replenished me. So maybe it's even thinking about your rest needs in a different way as well. So let's talk about this is also where we land with sensory rest, creating relief from sensory demands or creating sensory stimulation, because we can also be understimulated in our sensory system. So there's both here, guys. And 100% of respondents in the global spicy research said that in burnout, their sensory system, one area of those seven senses was dramatically heightened for them. So if you've experienced that, you're in good company. There's also emotional rest, and that's the freedom to authentically express our feelings, as we've discussed. So, what are some signs that you have a depletion in this area? You can feel like you're stuck in a rut. Um, it could be difficult to release emotions, to kind of move through them or move forward from them. You feel like stuck or mired in a particular emotion. Feeling alone and isolated, it can feel you can have a lot of fears. This even can show up with eating disorder type things. A lot of scarcity feelings come into this, like you have to protect your energy or you have to protect your things. A lot of that can come in. And then some of those needs that offset this when they're met, or that if they're unmet, this is the place to focus, is physical safety. Are you in a place where you physically feel safe? And for a lot of us who have co-occurring health conditions, I have POTS and dysautonomia, and I have mitral valve prolapse, and I'm being tested for MCAS and hypermobility. And all of those can lead to not feeling physically safe in our own bodies sometimes when we have a lot of health conditions. Emotional safety, again, this comes in where we don't necessarily feel safe if we've got a lot of really big feelings happening at one time and we don't know what they are, or if you've got, processing delays like I do, it's like all that emotion shows up after the fact. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute, why am I feeling this right now? There's nothing happening. And so then it makes it even harder. Financial safety. This is a place where we can experience a lot of um, those physical feelings from financial security and safety. Don't they show up in that root energy center area in order? And this is interesting. So if you've got a lot of chaos or what feels like a lot of chaos and you don't have a lot of order or structure, that's a need. And so where you can start bringing those in, even in small places, makes a really, really big difference. If you've loved this and found new ways to better understand your energy, how it shows up in your body, and the correlations to your specific rest and human needs, then you're going to love my new sensory rest toolkit and our upcoming 2-day virtual live Nail Your Number One Need Masterclass. In this special holiday offer, I've put together the most powerful burnout restoration tools from the Unveiling Method, including my new book, Unleashing Sustainable Energy, the companion book bundle that gives you all the assessment from the book, plus workbooks, exercises, journal reflections, and added tools to apply your assessment results strategically to get the biggest energy boost and to help plug up those energy drainers with ease and a plan. Plus, you get my new sensory rest toolkit just in time for the holidays to help you identify where your sensory system is experiencing disruption and the tools and steps to help you harmonize and regulate. But that's not all. You also get a seat in the upcoming Nail Your Number One Need Masterclass. Remember, burnout is essentially chronic unmet needs. And for most of us, me included, when we discovered we're in burnout and what it is, we usually have no clue what those needs are beyond sleep, food, water, shelter, physical safety, and money. There are 30, that's right, 30 basic human needs, and some carry more energy for you than others right now. In this 2-day masterclass, I will help you identify your number one need right now. And to ensure you have a plan to get that number one need consistently met, on day 2, we will identify the number one boundary type and the boundary style to help you get that number one need met. And to make this the biggest no brainer offer ever, I'm going to make the best guarantee I've ever offered, which puts all the risk of your investment on me. When you join us for our $297 holiday special offer, I guarantee you'll walk away by the end of this training having clearly identified your number one need. Or you get a free 30-minute one-on-one session with me, Carol Jean, to nail it. And we'll nail it, I promise. In other words, if you don't know exactly what your number one need is by the end of this class, all you need to do is email Julie, my customer support liaison, and we will happily set up a one on one session so you can nail it. I've helped hundreds of ADHD autistics move down the spicy pepper burnout scale, and now it's your turn. This special holiday offer is only available until Tuesday, December the 5th at 11:30 p.m. Central Time. I've never offered a bundle of this significant value for such a little investment, so don't miss out. There's over $3,000 worth of amazing content and things that will change your life forever. I am only offering this once. And because one of my love languages is gift giving, I am giving an additional $100 off now through Sunday, December the 3rd. So if you're ready to begin your 2024 with a plan to get out of burnout for good, join us and get all the extras, the bonuses, and more, along with live support and community connection. Click the link below this video and get your special holiday offer to jumpstart your energy with my strategic support and a plan, and get that additional $100 off, that gift from me to you until Sunday at 11:30 p.m. Central Time. Thanks so much.